All right. We're giving it a second to see if it's back.
That time lucky, right?
Well, I'm just going to put it on the Twiglet cam until I can see from people that we're back. I don't know what on earth is going on with Twitch right now. But are we back, Ducky? Thank you. It keeps disconnecting us. And we're not like touching anything or doing anything. It just says, no, your connection to Twitch has been lost. So give me just 1 second. Let me make myself a note here. I need to reconnect to OBS maybe, and that'll help.
Let me just check down detector. I doubt it's an actual issue because we get this regularly.
I'm just making a note to give it a shot and see if there's anything I can do about it. Unfortunately, folks, there's the fun shop or the grocery shop. I get it delivered, but I don't trust anybody to pick my produce. I didn't for the longest time either. And then I decided the convenience of having somebody pick the rest of my groceries was worth the fact that the tomatoes might be subpar.
It might actually be a Twitch issue.
Okay. Is there a spike of drops?
Yeah, it's not quite enough to trigger a full report, but there's definite spikes on the outage reporters.
Okay. So, unfortunately, folks, I can't do anything about the ad break. It's going to run. So,
really sorry, nothing we can do.
We're more than halfway through the stream. So, if you haven't gotten up and had a wiggle since we started, why don't you go and do that now? We'll deal with the ad break again. And then hopefully we can get through the rest of the day and figure out what on earth is going on with all this water. Now, where were we? Hold still, Twitch. Come on. I got 25 minutes left. Nah, whatever happens is none of my business now. I'm retarded. And water doesn't bother me. Shouldn't bother you too much either, am I right? Since you're so close to...
I knew you wouldn't forget.
Okay, so we've dated some sort of water deity.
Yeah,
haven't
clearly.
we?
Yeah.
Okay. I might be old, but I'm not senile.
Well, me neither.
So you wouldn't call the primordial sea your home then?
I've inhabited a few planes already. My past doesn't define the word home for me anymore. But you know what? You're right. Primordial water really doesn't do any harm to me. Even if I wanted to drown in it, I wouldn't be able to. But honestly, I was more worried about my patrons and the inn itself. I really hope everyone's okay.
Wouldn't worry too much about all your regulars. Adventurers are tough folk, and your drinks toughen them up even further.
I have faith that you're right.
But your tavern? Well, let's just say it's definitely seen better days. Nah, now that's kind of an understatement. It looks like shit.
Ow. I've been working the whole day to clean up as much as I can.
My condolences. Say, have you ever talked to the Wizard of Morla?
Molia, I would do.
Marlia?
No, sadly I haven't had the pleasure.
Oh, you should if you get the chance. He's always loved all kinds of spells and enchantments. More the kind involving, like, trickery. He likes puzzles and traps and that stuff. But I'm sure he also knows a protective spell or two. I mean, he's been protecting his wizard's tower for quite some time now.
I'll keep that in mind if I ever get to meet him. But I suppose you're not just here to talk. How about drink?
You've got away with customer service. How about a drink that'll wake up my old muscles? That way I can help you tidy up this place.
I can't quite remember having asked for help.
What's that? My old ear suddenly can't understand what you're saying. How unfortunate. Maybe a strong drink would help.
Okay, coming right up. Also, given the egg whisk prosthetic beater arm on the hat stand, I'm guessing she drops by pretty regularly.
Right. I'm not asking too many questions about that, to be honest. Sailor's Courage is definitely the drink for her.
Kind but not nice is a very good way of describing it.
But this one will need an additive.
To make her stronger.
Yeah. Yeah, the chili would work just fine. Because that gives me that. And then I need one of those. One of those. Oh, look at that tail. And I think two of those. Yep, Sailor's Courage. There we go. Look at this tail. He's from underwater Jersey, right? Oh, he's not asleep in the slightest. That is the sound of chaos winding up. That is the sound of Godzilla. Yeah. Oh, he's gonna be so spicy. Does Twiglet lick heads? No.
No.
He licks hands.
Big on hands. He's a big hand licker.
All right, there we go. Order up. Southern Brawler with a chili. Chili with an eye. There you go.
There you go. A drink powerful like the astral sea.
Wonderful. I consumed enough primordial water to last me weeks. Hey,
And?
it doesn't taste exactly like home, but the hints of elemental magic. Oh, that relives some old memories. I gotta say, you definitely know your craft.
Oh, thank you. Could I maybe convince you to just relax and let me do my work for a
You'd
while?
like that, wouldn't you? Let's get this messy tavern cleaned up.
If you insist. The glass does in fact have abs.
I know, isn't it amazing? Abs and a buff. Before I forget, all that water swept some animal remains into my pockets.
Ew, gross.
Don't really know where they came from, and I don't feel any kind of astral energy coming from them. So I assume they're either Gaian or primordial, and before I stab myself with them while I'm cleaning, I wanted to check if you might have use for them.
Stab.
Yeah, they're really sharp.
Oh, see, now I'm curious. Gimme.
Ha! You're so easy.
Oh, thank you, Una. They might not be primordial, but I think I know just what to do with these.
Cyber fangs?
Saber fangs.
Gonna spice up some drinks?
Maybe.
Can't wait to try them. Now, let's spice up this old rusty tavern. Okay, what? Ha 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 ha!
Oh, Lord.
Oh boy. Innkeep.
Rhea.
Innkeep.
Yeah. Greetings, innkeeper.
Hello, Archie. Finally came to tell you the tale of tales. I told you we'd be back with a good one, didn't I?
Indeed you did.
It's a thrilling story, to be certain. That being said, you look like you've got some thrilling stories to tell yourself.
None thrill me as much as yours will.
Well, grant me one question still.
Shoot.
Who's that granny on your roof?
Oh, an old friend of mine. She is helping me tidy up the tavern after the flood.
She's a really nice friend, then.
I suppose so. I didn't know she was on the roof. Are a lot of the tiles missing?
Half.
Uh,
It's closer to a quarter.
just a few, actually. That is not especially conclusive, my friends, but I trust Una, and I trust her abilities. Sometimes.
Look at your eyes as they're easy to run to the edge of a blade sometime.
Or not, if I'm lucky.
If
So did the flood hit you as well?
you bet. Had to hold on to Rhea for a quick second there, or else she would have been swept away like a twig. How do east?
What's your wish?
Nice!
Oh, there's definitely Scots on this step team.
That's wee Mary. It's wee Mary the dwarf. We just passed Thamus when it happened. Luckily, there were 2 carriages nearby, wedged between sturdy trees and a large boulder. We managed to pull ourselves out of the raging waters and into the carriages. Thank the dragons. It could have gone real south quick. And your tavern looks a bit wet as well.
Oh, it is. Been working non-stop to clean it up.
That's not good.
Working non-stop comes with being self-employed, I guess.
No, I mean the flood. I've never heard of a flood this massive. It spread all the way from Thamus to Zenith? You're right. We certainly are that close to the sea. Thamus maybe, but not your inn.
It's all still very recent. We'll have to wait until we know the true extent. Back to your story. How was the journey to Dyria? And how did you manage with the flood?
The journey to Dyria itself was uneventful. But venturing to the capital, all the more so. As for the flood, it didn't really bother us until we arrived back on the mainland.
I think we should tell the story chronologically. That might make it a bit easier to digest.
Thank you, Archie. Alright, then go ahead.
Me?
Yeah, you're good at telling stories.
Oh, you think so?
I.
All right, so listen closely, for what is about to unfold is a story as terrifying as it is heroic.
Here we go.
It was midnight, and the moon was standing high when the three adventurers assembled at their meeting point.
Didn't know we were taking this carrot here along. It was a surprise.
A pleasant one, I hope.
Uh,
Having one party member more than anticipated was at least more pleasant than the surprises that lay ahead.
now I'm intrigued.
So, accustomed to the pleasant surprise, we ventured to Theodore's abode in Venice.
Very fancy. Very expensive. Doesn't never seen such a posh bed before. 3 stories for one person.
To be fair, one person and a lot of staff, such as cooks, maids, and a gardener.
For a holiday home. Even worse.
Night, Grim. I'd very much appreciate it if we didn't judge people based on their amount of wealth. Get fucked, Archie.
Or their lack thereof.
Exactly.
So you arrived at this holiday residence in Themis.
Right. We approached the gates and we rang the bell. Fog was creeping up around the house like it was pressuring us to go inside. A man in a black suit opened the gate and with a deep and raspy voice said, "State your business, please."
Some sort of butler. I told him, listen up, clown. You are our business.
Which really wasn't polite.
No one asked you.
Maybe you should have, and they wouldn't have thought we were bandits.
Well, we got that cleared up, didn't we?
Because I introduced myself really very quickly when I saw some guards were already approaching. I introduced myself as Gustav Archibald Richmond III. Now, knowing my family and the childhood friendship that Theo and I have fostered for over 2 decades, the butler relaxed and let us through.
You know what's funny, Innkeep?
What?
The other lad was also a third.
Born in the same generation, both the third of our names. Perhaps that's why we were destined to be friends, just like our fathers and their fathers were before us. Okay. Theodore Hugo Frederick Sinclair III is his full name.
Percival Rollo. I can't remember the whole thing.
Little gay boy in a hat. Why are you crying?
But no one called him that. We called him Theodore.
Or Theo. Either way, we had rang him out of his sleep, so he was not at all amused to see us.
And then he laid eyes upon you, Ginger. Never seen a gaze light up so fast.
What do you mean?
I was happy to see you.
Oh. Well, I'm also always happy to see him. So when we caught sight of each other, all violent tensions were just blown away.
And others were
I found our visit very peaceful.
Yeah, Theo's a polite lad. Offered us tea and biscuits while we waited for him to pack his things. Yeah, not a fan of rich folks and their antics. Tea and biscuits aren't much of an antic, though. Throwing you off a cliff is.
No one did that.
Metaphorically. He is the reason we almost died, though. Yeah, you don't need to blame the customer. Incidents like that are the reason they need help. Right. Okay.
Anyway, it will all make sense when we get there. So, after Theo packed his things, we made our way to Windmore at sunrise. From there, we took a ship.
A brig. Just for us, a whole crew. For a diplomat.
Safety is important for a politician.
Food was great, to say the least. At least.
We had to take the ship, as you might be aware, Innkeeper. The bridge connecting Tyria and the mainland was destroyed.
I recall.
So, the ship we took brought us to Twinborough and not to Amasa itself.
Why was that? Apparently the debris from the bridge is a safety hazard for passing ships.
And if there was one thing we didn't need, it was distress at sea. We were lucky with the weather. The sea stayed calm, even with a thunderstorm right behind us.
And the mood on the ship was jolly. Theo entertained us with his stories.
Oh, he's such a great storyteller. I wonder where he gets all those thrilling narratives from. Actually, I suppose he still reads a lot. We used to read together when we were younger.
Is that what you kids are calling it these days?
We'd read the same book, but always one chapter at a time before giving it to the other to read the same chapter. That way it felt as though we were reading together. He was always so imaginative. Still is.
So we were bored a bit before we reached shore. You're not so bad yourself with stories, lad.
I'm glad you like them. Already working on the story about you two. The claw of Ereve and the hammer of...
Thunder?
Rhea Frostgrip. The hammer of thunder? No. Rhea Frostgrip. The hammer of thunderous strikes.
Keep working on it, lad. You'll get there.
I love that she's not mad about this.
The story? Can we continue?
Of course. We arrived at Twin Burrow in the late afternoon and the sun was already setting on the horizon, tinting the world in colors of purple. At that point, none of us could have imagined the world would be tinted in red soon enough.
Red like the sunrise or red like blood? Well, we got off the ship and after a short break in Twin Burrow, we made our way to Amasa. We got about 2/3 of the way there without any issues. And then it got dark. The type of darkness that creeps up on you like an eerie mist.
She's getting into this.
The type of darkness that chokes all the noise out of the world. You know something's going on if you hear nothing. No birds, no crickets, no wind. Just dead silence. Didn't even realize it until Kara pulled me aside and pointed it out. Just as I was explaining it to her, my ears perked up. Far away, I heard some kind of low humming. I didn't hear it myself. I thought you were making it up, imagining noises in the dark to make up for the absence of light. But sometimes the brain does things like that. It was so silent except for all that humming. I started to get this weird feeling in my guts. Like a sixth sense? Yeah. I don't know if it's in the genes or my experience, but at some point you start feeling when something shifts and things aren't as they should be.
Gotcha.
Either way, I hear the humming, and it's not long before it turns into growling. That's when I heard it too. Deep guttural.
I saw silhouettes in the woods. To our left and to our right. The eyes reflected our torchlight eerily. I huddled closer to Theo to protect him.
Soon we were surrounded by a knot of
zombies. A lot of them everywhere. They were moaning and groaning and they were so ready to feast on us. I grasped Theo's hands because I had to hold on to something.
I'd act fast. They'd already seen us and we were surrounded, so running wasn't an option. Clearly, we were going to have to fight our way through, so I grabbed my sword. We weren't far from Amasa. I felt sturdy as a rock, like nothing could harm me. I needed to reassure the same for Rhea, Archie, Theo. So I reached into the powers of your drink. The woman stopped walking abruptly while these beasts were approaching us, and I threw my hammer just in case.
I heard her mumble words I didn't understand.
Enhanced by that citron you put in our drinks, I called upon my Baba, asking for guidance. Never had much business with the dragons, but she had. I hoped if I reached out, she could lend me some of that. I'd never felt so close to her before. Not even when I buried that chimera.
Zombies approached, pressing closer against our dim torchlight. When suddenly, a shield of light burst out of her sword, engulfing us, and pushing the zombies away in an eruption of divine force. It was a light of radiant gold all around us, shimmering softly.
What do we think? Spirit Guardians?
Yeah, I think it's Spirit Guardian.
Field. I couldn't waste any more time, and I kept going. Honestly, I barely know what I did myself. It's all still kind of a haze. Luckily, it seems the undead are like pack animals, at least for the most part. Maybe all that slashing a bit easier.
She pushed forwards, cutting through the zombies one by one, the rest of us at her heels. It seemed like a bottomless pit. More came rushing towards us. The traveling shield blocked most of them, but eventually
it began to crack. Fair enough, after a bunch of steady, forceful impacts with anything, it'll break. But I made sure to push the undead back with my hammer.
Meanwhile, Theodore seemed scared. He told me he wished this was just another assassination attempt instead. At least then the foes would have been alive. I was just as terrified, but I did my best to keep him safe. Then he tripped and fell. I tried to catch him, but he pulled me down with him. Caleb was so focused on getting through the ambush that he pressed on.
And then they said...
We fell behind, leaving the shimmering shield's presence. Darkness enclosed us and we caught the attention of the zombies, who began cornering us. I couldn't let us die, so I called out for Rhea.
But then I'd already noticed they were gone, so I called up the caravan and headed back to the lads. I smashed every undead head, I dared to come close to Archie, and well, I didn't know you had it in you, lad.
Well, oh gosh, it was out of necessity.
What happened?
One of the zombies grabbed Leo's leg and attempted to drag him away from me. When I got up, I drew my rapier and...
poked the thing right in the eye! Dropped to the ground like a wet towel.
Fascinating.
A little. When I heard Rhea, I hurled around. They were all by themselves in the distance, almost dying because someone didn't watch their feet. Easy care. Accidents happen. Accidents kill people. Obviously, I couldn't let that happen, so I rushed back. We lost all of our previous advantage as more came flooding in by the second. I didn't want to waste any more time, so I pulled Theo up by his collar and threw him over my shoulder. I wasn't going to risk any more accidents. He didn't like that much. Later, he said it was invading his personal space. I told him I could have left him to die instead, which maybe wasn't the right response, I guess. So afterwards, we got to Amasa.
The guards came to our aid and helped ward off the zombies. Kellen set Theo down, and I helped him inside the safe borders of the city. Horrors were over, and thanks to Kellen and Rhea, we had reached our destination.
And to you, kid. Yeah, suppose you didn't do too bad of a job.
Oh, Theo was beyond thankful. Even though he wasn't amused by being thrown over Kellen's shoulder, he understood that she saved his life. He was so impressed that he said it would make for a great story. He even started on a first draft. But after the fight, he felt really inspired to solve the conflict between Dyria and the mainland. So he'll probably have no time to finish it, and he decided to give the manuscript to me. He said he always liked when I told him stories, and he'd love to hear this tale in my words. I promised him I'd write something up for the next time we see each other.
Still a better love story than that one romance book. You mean the one with the vampires? Yeah.
I doubt this is going to be a love story.
I was talking about you two lovebirds.
Me and Theo, we are just friends.
Sure you are. Either way, we brought them to his destination in the city. We had some tea, and we started making our way back. Checked out some tourist stops. The ticks don't work if you know what they're up against.
I bought a mug.
I sure did.
But I already have more than enough mugs at home, so I wanted you to have it, so you'll always remember our heroic adventure.
I would love to. I'm an avid keepsake.
Splendid.
What is... I didn't see what it said. Anyways, afterwards we had some tea and we made our way back by noon, and once we arrived on the mainland, the flood hit like it had been waiting for us.
I can still feel the cold water clinging to my bones. Speaking of, I'll freshen up a bit. Still have mud in my shoes. And then maybe I'll continue with the rest of the story.
Of course, take your time. Now it's just us. Indeed. That kid is so green behind the ears. Weren't we all?
Can I offer either of you a drink?
After a journey like this one, I could use something that tastes like rocks. And something that'll regenerate my stamina.
Coming right up.
Something that tastes like rocks. Okay. Steel tonic sounds right. With the steel tonic running through your veins, you can become the buff party tank of your dreams. Its cooling qualities mixed with a surprising spicy aroma boosts your vitality to new heights and leaves you impenetrable to damage. That is, if they're even fast enough to hit you. Let's do that. But it's gonna need an additive. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll need something. She said she wanted it to taste like rocks, so I'm thinking maybe the citrine. Well, here's the saber fang. Gives haste. Ooh, haste is very powerful. Yeah, citrine's perfect. Citrin is here. Yeah, see. So it gives 1, so I'll need 2 of these. One of those. And 2 more of these. 2 more of these.
Throw him to the ground.
No.
Take the citron out.
Oh, I think I've overdone the red. Hang on. There we go. 2. Yeah, see? 2. And just 1 of this. There we go. Steel tonic. Thank you, Andu. I think, given how late it is, I can run a snooze. There we go. And I want to see the string. Thanks, Inka. Much needed.
Oh, you're welcome.
Care, let's talk about your extraordinary fighting skills. I gotta say, I was really impressed with how you decimated those zombies. Takes a good beast slayer to know one. Nah, I'm more the general fighting type, you know? But I can always appreciate 2 strong hands. And such a well-crafted greatsword on top of that. I'm happy to see you appreciate solid craftsmanship. It was a gift from my baba. She told me the great dragons themselves gifted it to her, but I don't know if it's true. Could be. You won against the Chimera after all. I'd be onto something there. Have you ever heard of the Great Axe of Ur? The most powerful weapon ever, forged by the origin of the world themselves. You bet I have. You think it really exists? I mean, Baba loved to tell stories, but her sword was made by the dragons. Ur's great axe is also more than just a myth. Dwarves have their origin in the subterranean caves, you know, on the plain of Ur. I grew up in a labyrinth of caves surrounded by gems and ores and legends and tales and darkspawn. I mean, I haven't seen it with my own 2 eyes, but I'm convinced the weapon exists. I bet it's so large I probably couldn't even recognize it as an axe. I've heard Ur keeps it in their resting place at all times. Yeah, but no one's found that so far.
Hopefully no one ever has to.
What do you mean?
You know the tale. Someone was to wake her up.
The apocalypse would begin.
But that's just an old tale, right? Something you tell kids that don't want to eat their food.
I certainly wouldn't send you a passive-aggressive note.
You know, to eat up or Earth will awaken.
Questionable parenting technique, if you ask me. Yeah, I got to hear that a few times when I was still a wee bear. All those tales ever did was make me want to craft the legendary weapon myself. Have you ever made anything like it? Not yet, but I will soon. I'll make the greatest weapon ever forged and smash this year's honor blacksmithing competition to bits. I'll outcraft my ex-husband with ease. That ex-husband? Yeah, we used to work together, and now he claims I wouldn't stand a chance without him. But I'm gonna prove him wrong. Anyway, Inky, care. I think it's getting quite late, and it's been an exhausting week. Absolutely agreed. Let's get some rest. And then look for another quest somewhere to afford my damn crafting materials. Good night, you two.
Good night, Cat.
Night, Inky. Excellent. Perfect place to stop. I'm wondering if the next day the water levels are still the same. It needs to be a mop. Bloop,
Bloop,
bloop.
bloop, splish, bloop, splish.
And the
Water's
next
fast
day,
receded.
the water is gone. Interesting. All right, let's save here. All the way to the end. All right. Amazing. And we've
we
got.
save?
I did save. Yes. I'll save again if you like. Just because I can. I'm just playing with it. See? Here. Third time.
Amazing scenes.
Right. Well done. I can't believe all the water just disappeared. I mean, it makes sense, right? Because if it's a tidal wave, then it probably shouldn't have even stuck around as long as
Especially
it
if it's like a
did.
wedding cake universe where there's the primordial seed, the real world, and the astral realm. Kind of makes sense that the water just basically drains through, I guess.
I guess. I mean, I don't know how the metaphysics of this universe works, but sure.
I'm no scientist, but
Yeah, don't. Just don't. I'm gonna have to wake him up because otherwise he's not gonna sleep, and that's really gonna maybe connected by like a big tree. Yeah,
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me at all. Or is come on,
give me a clue.
Fenrir. There we go.
Oh, Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. Yeah.
Good doggy. No, bad doggy. Bad doggy.
I wonder if that's the person sending us threatening notes.
No, it wasn't remotely threatening. He was very polite.
Really?
No.
No,
No.
not in the slightest. Right. Thank you very much for joining
Thanks
us,
for
everybody.
joining us, folks.
And
It's been great.
sticking it out through all of the annoying Twitch hiccups. I'm off to
Enjoy
pick a
your new to you couch. Well
Ooh,
done.
Enjoy your new to you couch. That sounds delightful. Let's see where we're gonna be this week.
I'll tell you what, we're not going to be full lid because it's a week off.
That's right. We're taking a week off for the full id, so no newsletter on Friday. Fenris.
That's him.
Okay, Fenrir's the name of the motorcycle in Final Fantasy VII that I love so
It's
much.
the name of the bad guys from Doctor Who. So.
Yeah, exactly. Fen something changed for copyright purposes.
Doggy.
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 Yes, exactly. So no full lid this week, but we will be back on Sunday morning with a fresh kilo of moose coffee beans and maybe pastries.
I think it sounds lovely.
That sounds nice.
And then next week,
And
will
hopefully,
be
Raphael and his manly ass cheek
Badonkadonk.
will have figured out how to like jump on platforms.
Oh, no, wait. Because of the nature of the game, it would sound classier in Latin. Badonkus, badonkus.
I'm not even gonna.
You really shouldn't.
I'm just gonna totally no sell that.
We'll see you on Sunday, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. I've been Alistair.
I've been Marguerite.
He's been Twiglet. And we'll see you next time.
Have a good rest of your day, everybody. We'll see you soon. But quick, I have to vamp for a moment because I have to find the button.
Fine, I'll talk about that.
What do you want to talk about?
Just, good night, everybody. Have a safe week. Look
Yes.
after yourselves. And we're going to go to Liverpool and get some waffles.
Some waffles. And wander around. Do things.
Do things.
Do things and stuff. Exactly. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you later.